Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your dashing host, Team Siddiqui, but the ladies call me Hot Chocolate. So, anyways, how about finals week? God, someone once told me ignorance is bliss. I think I'm at that point right now because instead of studying for finals, I just found this new app called Yik Yak. It basically tells me who else is not studying their finals or who's crying about their finals. It also tells me who does not have a love life. This is fantastic. It makes me feel better about myself in the future and actually right now in the present. But instead of that, I'm also using Netflix. I can just go on Netflix, watch a movie, and spend 2 hours not studying. So much better. You know, Netflix has all these cheesy little rom-coms with all these love triangles. I'd like to live vicariously through them. Speaking of love triangles and rom-coms, a few of my friends, yes, I do have friends, are playing major roles in some upcoming movies. My question is, why can't I play a role in these upcoming movies instead of this crappy late night show? Anyways, this new movie, you might have heard of it, is called Roomies, and it is very, very exciting. It's about something near and dear to our hearts. It's about sex. So, let's take a look at Roomies.
Hey, are you going to that playground thing?
No way. Extreme socializing just sounds too weird for me.
Okay, so you're free, that's perfect. Because then we can go to this party in Westville that Dan mentioned.
Yeah, let's go. It's welcome week. I'm single and ready to mingle. Hi, I'm your roommate, Chelsea. Hey, would you totally judge me if I told you I was attracted to my roommate?
What do you mean? Is she like super hot?
It's complicated. I'm actually attracted to her. I've dated so many guys, but I've never felt this way about anyone before. Even you would be attracted to her.
Oh, sweetie. Look, if you're feeling these things, you just need to go for it. You just go and you pursue that cute girl, and you make life great, and you'll feel okay.
Thanks. I really appreciate that, especially coming from you.
No problem. You know I love you.
With us today, we actually have the cast of the Roomies, and we're here to get some answers to your questions.
What's going on, T? Thanks, man. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm well, man. I'm well. It's been a lot of filming lately, a lot of work. You know, kids keep me busy. Fiance keeps me busy. If you know what I'm saying. That's inappropriate. I'm sorry. So I don't know. Just living life. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, you know, still working on this late night show. One day I'll be where you are. Not with a husband, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, not with the tight shirts either.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
What I'm saying is, one day I'm going to get to where you are, being an actor in a cheesy rom-com maybe. Get some more girls, and, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, I remember the last time we talked, we were at a party, and you talked to me about you coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
So
I made it official to the public. A lot of people told me that it could have been like quite possibly a career-killing move, but if anything, it actually helped me. So coming out was almost a resurgence in my career, actually. I felt better about myself. I still got the same sort of roles. I've hosted 3 Tonys. I have a family now. I don't know, I mean, life's great, and I feel free. I feel like I can actually be me, but still do the same things that I love, you know what I'm saying?
So in Roomies, that was actually the first time you played a gay character in any role that you had.
Yeah.
Did you feel more at ease playing this role than any other role you've had?
No, not even with a hesitation. Like, without a doubt, I felt the same as I always would, because acting is, you play somebody that you're not. You're in somebody else's skin. It's not you. It's not who you're supposed to be. So anything that is personal, that is about you, you need to drop, in order to perform well. And that's a big thing for me, and I've always maintained that opinion that you have to work your hardest, and you just have to let go of everything that you are and become something else. And I don't think that playing a gay character or a straight character is any different than me just playing a character in general.
Do you think your character in this movie, Roomies, accurately portrays what it's like to be a gay man in college?
I think my character in Roomies was an imperfect portrayal of a gay man. He was written in to, make traditional stereotypes, to be like that flamboyant character. Everybody goes to him for advice. They ask him questions about like life, or like, oh, I think I like this, or like, I'm interested in a woman. What do I do? All because I'm gay. So it's like some form of gay guru. It's actually like Cameron from Modern Family. It's a role that's written in. There's actually this thing called iconography. The theory states that somebody is portrayed as something before they even speak. Whether it's subtle or it's blatant. It's just how someone looks or how they stand or things like that. It's so that you can put them into a role, put them into a type. And that's what my character is in this movie. It's just a role. I am just a gay man. I'm not actually a person. I am just a gay man. So that's, it's something that you kind of got to get used to, especially if you do like comedies or things like that. So it's kind of like what Dyer says. That's Dyer think, as I like to call it. Just being typecasted or like being put into a role, and like that's not even typecasted, just being put into a role, and that's it. That's all I am. And there's also, it's just like there's a need to recreate social inequality in homosexual relationships with heterosexual relationships. I mean that there always has to be a guy and there always has to be a girl in a relationship. Like there has to be a gay man who gives and a gay man who takes. And I don't really think that's how it works. I mean, that's not how it works for me, and I'm assuming that's not how it works for all heterosexual relationships either. There's not just a man or a woman. It's a collective couple, a unit.
Thank you for being on the show today, Dan. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that was Dan from the Roomies. Up next, we have Christina. She's always the one to talk. Now, Christina, are you ready for some hard-hitting questions?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, let's start with that interview you did in Esquire in 2009 when you said you were bisexual.
I mean, I think people are born bisexual and then they make subconscious choices based on the pressures of society. I have no question in my mind that I'm bisexual, but I think I also might be a hypocrite because I would never sleep with a girl who would slept with a man because men are so dirty.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, moving on, Christina. Let's talk about how your sexuality has influenced the roles you played.
I mean, it really hasn't had any effect on the characters that I play. I play the same roles that I did before I let everyone in Hollywood know about my sexuality.
Some people have said that your career has been defined by hypersexuality because of your sexuality. How do you feel about that?
Bisexual women are normally considered overly sexual, but I've always played those kinds of very sexy roles. I don't think my interest in men and women has influenced my acting at all, especially because I only play straight women.
As someone who identifies as bisexual, do you feel that there are accurate representations of your sexuality in film?
I actually can't remember the last time I saw a movie that had a bisexual character in it. Bisexual women can't be categorized in a stereotype, and I think that's why we don't see them very often. They just can't be classified in any one group, and so they go against the stereotypes previously disseminated by the entire industry, which is a big no-no. Hollywood is basically like the alpha male. They make it so that we can't challenge anything that they say. They intrude into every aspect of our lives and society. And what they say is that relationships happen between one man and one woman, and we are so unable to challenge that. It's definitely becoming more acceptable to see same-sex relationships happening in movies, but I don't think we're as far along with bisexual characters being in relationships.
Thought-provoking, isn't it? Thanks, Christina. And now, we are going to turn our attention introduction to the lovely Jordan Brooks.
That's so awkward.
Oh, hey Jordan, how you doing?
I'm fine, but that was real creepy.
Anyways, as we all know, you recently came out as lesbian at the Creating Change conference. How did you know you were lesbian, and how did you know you were ready to come out?
I've actually known that I love women for a long time, but I was ashamed and I felt very guilty. There are times when you don't feel any shame. You're like, I'm proud to be gay, but it's still hard to be a lesbian actress. So I contacted the coordinators of the Creating Change conference, and I decided to come out in the most public way I could.
But why come out in such a public fashion?
Pretty much just to spite anyone who told me to keep it private. Hollywood's a very progressive place, but it's still not accepting of everyone.
Has it been a struggle to portray straight characters while coming to grips with your sexuality?
Well, no, my sexuality doesn't actually affect my career. To be an actress means to embody another character, so when I am a straight woman on film, I'm not Jordan Brooks trying to hide the fact that she's gay.
Would you like to play a lesbian in a film?
Yeah and no. Gay women don't get a lot of attention on film, and when they do, they're either like way too sexual or they're really weirdly masculine. And I don't think there's such a thing as a cookie-cutter lesbian. There's this theorist named Mulvey, and she says that when we look at a woman, we look at her as if we're looking at her through the eyes of a man, and I don't really want to perpetuate the idea of the male gaze. So I don't really want to fit into a binary with the lesbian character, so I would be really careful with who I choose to play.
Why do you feel a lesbian character is so controversial in our society?
There's this hegemony, this implied power in Hollywood that men are still superior to women, and I think that whenever a woman doesn't like just men, they like women, or women and men, it messes with our mental structures, and it blurs that line between active male and passive female, and it just makes people uncomfortable.
Well, thank you for sharing your experience with us. Okay, well, it was lovely having you here again.
Alright, see you.
And finally, the lovely Emma Griffin. Oh, hey, Emma, how you doing? In the film, you're playing a college student who is confused about her sexuality. What was it like trying to portray someone who was confused at something as complicated as their own sexuality?
Well, since this is my first time playing such a complicated role, it definitely wasn't easy, especially the more intimate scenes.
What about them?
Well, they're never comfortable. Same sex, opposite sex, it's never comfortable to film something like that, but once you actually get into the plot line and the script, it becomes more of an art form, and it's a lot easier to do.
How different is it to be playing a character who's attracted to women as opposed to men?
It's weird. When I first decided to play this role, I was like, wow, I wonder what it'll be like to play a lesbian. I've never played a lesbian before. But, you know, Christina and I have great chemistry, and I realized that when it comes down to it, it's really all about the chemistry.
Did you go through any preparation for your role?
Not necessarily emotional preparation. It was more of trying to understand the internal struggle of somebody going through something so huge. You know, it's not every day that you realize that you have been pretending to be attracted to the wrong type of person for the past 18 years of your life. So it was just a lot of, you know, playing around with emotion.
Did you work with your co-stars to develop this persona?
Yeah, working with Jordan, Christina, and Dan, and hearing about their personal experiences with coming out definitely helped me portray a more realistic character in the film.
That's it for tonight, folks. What a lovely segment we had. Can you imagine trying to be something else just to do it for money? It would be like trying to be funny just to host a late-night TV show. See, I'm kind of funny. Why am I not casted in a rom-com yet? I put the com in rom-com. But on a more serious note, now you learned what actors have to do. They sacrifice themselves to play a role for our entertainment. Hey, you know what would suck? If you went to go watch a movie and you just kept thinking about what we learned in this segment? That would suck, right? We'd ruin the movie for you. I'm a Team Sneaky, and that's all we do.